Okay, moving forward and backwards. Feel free, if you want to record this event on your cell phones. Just please make sure you don't interfere with those around you or behind you. So, now that we have that little bit out of the way, first of all, let me tell you a little something about me. My name is James Pichet. I first met Gerry back in 1995 during my first semester here at Henry Ford Community College, now Henry Ford College. Gerry was my acting one teacher, and it was during this class that he convinced me to audition for the next play being done here at the college, Amadeus. It was this pivotal meeting that began decades of collaboration and friendship. Gerry was my teacher, my mentor, and my friend. I learned much from him. I learned how to build sets. I learned how to be a mime and a clown. I learned that sometimes a plastic tube is so much more than just that. But this event is not about me, it's about Gerry. And we have gathered here to celebrate the life and the legacy of Gerry Jablinski. Looking out in the audience, I see a lot of people that Gerry influenced over the years. We have former students, colleagues, friends, and family. Some students that became colleagues, some colleagues that became friends, and some friends that became like family. How do you define a legacy that someone like Gerry has had? Do you talk about all the productions he was involved in? Do you speak on the impact that he has had on so many people? Do you talk about the countless people he has inspired to pursue their dream? I think the answer starts by doing something that Gerry has a fondness for, and I'm sure many of us have done with Gerry over the years. Therefore, we are going to spend the next several hours discussing the artistic, historical, and cultural significance of this water bottle. But before we can discuss the bottle itself, we must examine why a bottle. What does the bottle add to the mise-en-scene of the narrative? Why was this choice made, and how is it significant? I'm just kidding.
And do it stylized.
We kid because we love. Gerry has worn many hats over the years. He has been a mime, a teacher, a director, and an actor. A mentor, and the longest-running technical director here at Henry Ford College. We figured about 23, 24 years. He has worked at Henry Ford College, Marygrove College, and Concordia University, just to name a few, and through these institutions has taught, inspired, and helped many to realize their dreams. The aspirations of what he could accomplish was not limited to academia either. Gerry has had many different talents and interests. The interests and talents of Gerry are so vast and wide that he created the Experimental Performing Arts Association to help develop, promote, and produce a vast amount of different kinds of content. I myself was fortunate enough to be a part of various miming, clown, and living statue work, and I will never forget the bronze statue in the middle of January and the DIA right in front of the front doors. It was because of the work that I did in the EPAA that I almost went to clown college. True story. Most recently, the EPAA was able to help Gerry realize his vision of a modern version of Hamlet geared for high school students. Even when Gerry was diagnosed with cancer, he never gave up working on his visions and trying to push his ideas. Gerry meant a lot of things to a lot of different people. If time would allow, we could sit here for weeks on end and discuss a multitude of people and let them speak on how Gerry has affected their lives. Sadly, time is not a friend to us, so we have to limit it to just a select group who have expressed a desire to speak here today. We are now going to hear from some of the people who have known him the best and or the longest. They are the people who have worked closely with Gerry over the years, and each one of them has a different perspective on what it was like to know him. First of all, we have George Popovich.
So how the hell do you talk about Gerry? I don't know. But I thought what I'd do, basically, is maybe tell you a little bit about his early days here, and then I just want to talk a little bit about how he helped me do what I wanted to do here. And without him, I wouldn't have been able to do it at all. So first of all, Gerry was here before me. He was here maybe 1983 or 4. He gave movement workshops to the acting classes, and I got here in '85. And so before I continue, I'd like you to just remember something, that Gerry was always part-time here, his classification. Isn't that something else? And he did the work of 5 full-time employees, okay, over his career every day, all right? So just keep that in mind when I start describing all of this. So he was my movement coach for Equus. That was in 1985. And he also was my movement coach for Flea in Her Ear. Now, you know how sometimes when you think about people and you remember them and sort of the image comes up in your mind? Here's what I remember very early days of Gerry. It was '86 maybe, okay? I was downtown, I was watching this experimental theater dance troupe named Sankai Juku, and I was in the lobby, okay? And I'd look around, and there was Gerry with his little daughter on his shoulders, okay? And, I mean, I don't have any big firebomb content to make a joke or anything, or even a cap to that, but that image, okay, is one of the images that comes into my mind. He was smiling and waving at me, okay? And I just see that when I think about him all the time. So then his first play here was a small experimental play in 1989. This is going to fall off and I'm going to trip, right? Okay, so where did it go? Okay, somebody hold this for me, please. Okay, so anyway, yeah, thank you. Okay, so anyway, Interview was an experimental theater play, and it was 1990-ish. And the thing was is that Gerry did not have a master's degree yet, so that means he couldn't really teach the classes. So he found a program that enabled him to do work here, okay, and then take some workshops from experts and some classes in the area and get an MA. So I agreed to be his chairman of his master's degree, and he finally got his MA around 1990 or 91. His first full-length show here was A Servant of Two Masters, and in that show we saw his great love of period drama, right, and physical theater, okay, we saw that. So he started to direct on a regular basis. I was trying to count these things. He directed at least 47. He TD'd at least twice as many as that, and probably more, okay? So I know I'm running out of time, and I kept tying this damn thing, and so anyway, what he did for me, though, was he enabled me to have a dream to indulge myself with experimental theater using electronic media. And Gerry helped me maintain and was just a major force in making the virtual theatricality lab alive. That was my little dream as a little kid, to like make movies and do that stuff and, you know, put it together with theater. And he allowed me to do that because he killed himself for me, you know, as far as helping, okay? When we did The Tempest, we had this massive load-in of equipment and wires and computers and stuff to be transported to Illinois somewhere, and he had to do it in 4 hours, and he did it in 4 hours, okay? And it was incredible, and as this progressed, basically, the next show, he helped me with the Skriker, and he actually experimented with us. I mean, he's not getting paid for this, he's just doing this, right? And hundreds of hours dealing with this equipment, using his mind skills to help us test the motion capture equipment. And there was my dream. I'm making a movie. I'm creating this magic. And Gerry is enabling that to happen. And then finally Dinosaurus, well, he really outdid himself for that because he not only did all that other stuff, but he acted in it. And that relieved me so much. I didn't have to worry about somebody walking off or getting mad or leaving because I knew I could trust him to just do that. And he just made so many kids happy, okay, when they came to see that. So, one more thing, studio theater. If you're a present theater student here now, you have a studio theater in the old VTL lab because of Gerry. He supervised the conversion of that. And we've have 2 extra productions now a year because of that for our students. So give, right? So he's an imaginative man of vision, a kind and caring mentor to all students and a trusted friend. To have known him is one of the greatest honors and privileges of my life. I love you, Gerry.
Thank you. Next up, we have Kevin Dewey.
Listen here. Kevin. if I had any prepared written remarks, where I prepared them in advance, I think that would put Gerry over the edge. He'd be so shocked. I wing a lot of things, and Gerry, he prepares everything so well. And I remember that he prepared things so well that I appreciated that when I worked with him as a music director here. I'm the music faculty here at the college for 25 years. And I music directed many shows that he directed or TD'd. And he would have things so well organized. Hi, Gerry. That I almost worried if I would spring something on him, it would freak him out, and it didn't. Because he also improvised all the time. He could do both, and that's what's really great. I didn't learn. He didn't teach me. Gerry didn't teach me mime or clowning because in the first place, I'll never shut up, and I'm already obviously a clown. So But I think he saw that early on. He never actually said it out loud, but you could, it emanates from him. His great wisdom. A couple of the things with Gerry is that he did things above and beyond, as George was saying, and a couple of things that he might not even remember doing. When I'd walk in and say, hey, Gerry, can you blah, 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 or can you blah, blah, blah? And he's like, well, yeah, and 10 minutes later it was done. Like when I needed platforms for the collage concert where we wanted to have the jazz group sing.
It's not a Star Trek-y.
Yes, it is. It is like a Star Trek thing, see? And we were doing a thing at the collage concert over the other Performing Arts Center, and I needed to have the vocal jazz group stand among the symphony band, but above so you could see him. Well, Gerry, in about an hour, knocked out these three things right here. Do you remember making those platforms? And it was for a one-time use. We've used them about 100 times. We use them all the time. They're so much more convenient and better looking than choral risers, frankly. So I've used them. So a little thing like that. Another thing, my first son was born about 8.5 years ago. And when you babyize or toddler-proof your house, I had the gate at the top of the stairway, and it just was not quite reaching the right length. I needed to have a thing about an inch thick piece of wood or something to drill into the wall to drill the thing into like that. I described it to Gerry, and he sawed me these pieces of wood. He painted them the right color, and I think he wrote "Love Gerry" on the back. But then he painted over that. So I think he did though. But that there was love in it, and there was love in everything he did. Another story I'll tell you real quick is one of the things that blows me away is working with him in productions is how he gets all the students. He's perfect for a academic setting because everybody in every show does everything. There's no prima donnas. You come in, you're an actor, you paint, you sell tickets, you make flyers, you do costumes, you do everything. And that is what makes it such a great experience, and that's what I tell people when they say, well, I can just go be the Players Guild. I'm like, no, you come here and you find out how theater is really done from Gerry Jablinski. That's the beautiful thing. And what really cracked me up is I think this is a mistake. Someone will have to correct me or not. But there was this one year, about 8 or 10 years ago, when he had like 25 work-study students. And it was like a mistake, right?
Was that
yeah.
That was Tommy.
Was that? And he had all these people that knew nothing or cared nothing about theater. Yeah. And all these people, and you know what? He put them all to work. They all learned how to paint. They learned how to raise a hammer. They learned how to drill. And I couldn't believe he took these people, and it was like a special works project, just working with these 25, whatever it was, 20 work-study students. And so that's the kind of man he is. He's resourceful. He can do anything with anything. When people collect the things that he collects, you call them a pack rat. When Gerry collects the things he collects, he's collecting resources that he's going to use. Right? Right? Am I right? So, okay, I'll stop now. I love you, Gerry.
You can just hold on to the mic, Kevin.
This thing?
Yeah, you just hold on to it.
Oh my God.
Hey, I can speak loud. Sorry.
I did that to someone on a bus once who kept talking when we tried to get him to stop talking. I just went up and unplugged the